Hello, thank you for checking out Mr. Weird's videos. And today we're looking at pairs of angles. Pairs of angles. So we're going to talk about different types of angle pairs, and I'm going to go over a few of them. And down the road, it's going to be a lot more different angle pairs, but here's some of the basic ones here. All right, so pairs of angles. So you got adjacent angles, two angles in the same plane with a common vertex and a common side, but no common interior points. So they have a common side right here in the middle. They have a common vertex where they meet at, right? But they have no common interior points. So here's one angle right here, and here's the other angle right here, right? And they're adjacent. They're right next to each other, okay? All right, next here is a linear pair. Okay, so a linear pair is an adjacent angle because it has the same thing. You got this first angle right here, and it's got the common side, right? They share the same vertex right here in the middle. But what makes it linear is uh, two of the sides. Let me read it right here. A pair of adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. So the non-common side are going in opposite directions, right? So they make a line. That's why it's called a linear pair. Okay. All right. Vertical angles. Two non-adjacent angles. So we're talking about the angles that's not adjacent, not like these up here. Okay. Formed by two intersecting lines. So here's an angle. I'm talking about this top angle here. And this angle and this bottom angle are vertical. Right. All right. And they're right across from each other. Usually form an X. Okay. There's another pair of vertical angles. The one on the left is a vertical angle with the one on the right. Okay. And the thing about vertical angles, they're going to be equal. So let's say, for instance, this top angle was 60 degrees. Then this bottom angle is going to be 60 degrees. Let's say this angle on the left was 110 degrees. This angle on the right will be 110 degrees. They're equal to each other. So keep that in mind. All right, next up, complementary angles. Okay, two angles who measure have a sum of 90 degrees. So that means if this was 30 degrees, a smaller angle, this other angle would be 60 degrees. Okay, complementary angles add up to equal 90 degrees. All right, supplementary angles. Two angles whose measures have the sum of 180. So the two angles that add up to equal 180 degrees. So let's say, for instance, this was 10 degrees, and that means this angle right here will be 170 degrees. They have to add up to equal 180. So keep in mind this. Linear pair over here, these angles are always supplementary. So if you see a linear pair, it's also supplementary. All right, let's take a look at some examples. Okay, it says identify each pair of angles as complementary, supplementary, linear, vertical, or adjacent. Okay, so let's take a look at this first one here, where they're not connected at all, so it can't be adjacent. One's 40 degrees, one's 50 degrees, so that is a 90 degree, adds up to equal 90 degrees, so that makes it complementary. Complementary. Okay, let's look at number two, talking about angle 1 and angle 3. They're right across from each other. So those are going to be vertical angles. Vertical angles. All right, number 3, we've got 57 and 123. If you add that up, that's going to equal 180. So you're going to have supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. All right. Here, angle 1 and angle 2, you can see that line in here, and it's they're adjacent angles, but they're also a linear pair, which means they're also supplementary. So it's a linear pair of angles or supplementary. All right, here you have two angles right next to each other. They don't make a linear pair or anything, but they're not vertical. They're right next to each other. They share a common side here, and those are adjacent angles. Adjacent angles. Okay, over here on the right, we've got an angle that's 12 and an angle that's 78, and they add up to be 90 degrees, so that makes them complementary. These are angle pairs. All right, let's take a look at a few more examples. All right, again, adjacent angles. This one, angle 1, and angle 2. Notice how they share a common side. It makes green. Adjacent angles. Okay, a linear pair. They got an opposite side here. Angle 3 here is in yellow. Angle 4 is in blue. The side in the middle makes green. That's a common side. They're adjacent, but they also make it. They have these opposite ray, making this line. So those are a linear pair. And here you have vertical angles. Angle 5 here, angle 6 here. Notice how there's no green. So they are just vertical angles. Okay. Take a minute and see if you can name angle 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with angle 1. See if you can name angle 1. We want to know if it's only adjacent, adjacent and form a linear pair, or not adjacent. That's all we want to know. Only adjacent, adjacent and form a linear pair, or not adjacent. Okay, on this first one, they're adjacent and form a linear pair. Adjacent and form a linear pair. Take a look at number 2. All right, number 2 is only adjacent. They're only adjacent. All right, now take a look at number 3. All right, these are not adjacent at all. They don't share a common side. They're not vertical either. Keep in mind they're not vertical, but they're not adjacent. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, so I still got the angles up here. Take a look and see if you can tell which one's only adjacent, or adjacent and form a linear pair, or not adjacent. Okay, let's start with 5 and 4. Angle 5 and angle 4. Okay, they're only adjacent. They share a common side here in the middle, right? And the opposite or non-adjacent or non-common side pieces do not form a straight line, so they are only adjacent. Take a look at angle 1 and angle 4. Angle 1 right here and angle 4 over here. Okay, those are not adjacent. They're not close to each other. Not adjacent, not a linear pair, just not adjacent. All right, let's take a look at 2 and 3. All right, adjacent and form a linear pair. You see how it has the opposite rays here, making that straight line. Adjacent and form a linear pair. All right, let's take a look and see what else we got here. All right, so it says here, name a pair of vertical angles. So you're going to take a look over here and see if you can name a pair of vertical angles. All right, angle 1 and angle 6, and angle 2 and angle 5. angle 1 and angle 6, angle 2 and angle 5. These two, see how they are opposite from each other? Those are vertical angles. Okay, name a linear pair of angles. Okay, a linear pair of angles, it's going to be angle 1 and angle 2. Here's one of them. 5 and 6 is a linear pair of 2. 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. All of those are linear pairs of angles. All right, see if you can find an angle that's adjacent to angle 4. Angle 3. Angle 3 is adjacent to angle 4. All right, now we've already talked about this, how complementary angles add up to equal 90, supplementary angles add up to equal 180. Take a look at 10 and 11 and see if you can tell me if they're complementary, supplementary, or neither. All right, number 10 is complementary. Two angles add up to equal 90 degrees, so they're complementary. Okay. Number 11, 110 and 110 does not add up to equal 180. You can tell they're vertical angles. Like I said, they're equal right there, but they're not complementary or supplementary, so it's neither. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, so it says here to find the measure of each of the following angles. The complementary angle of angle S. So here's angle S. Well, we knew complementary angles add up to equal 90. So to find that, you're just going to do 90 minus 56. And that's going to get you 34. Supplementary angle of S. Well, supplementary is going to add up to equal 180. So you're going to take 180 and minus 56. And that's going to get you 124. All right, take a minute and see if you can find the complementary and supplementary angles of angle R. All right, let's take a look at this. So on 14, 90 minus 22. Find the complementary, just do 90 minus 22 and get you 68. And for the supplementary, just go do 180 minus 22 and get you 158. And that's it. That is the lesson on angle pairs. I want to thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. Have a nice day.